All right, we are recording. You guys can do whatever you want with your video. I would appreciate it if you keep yourself muted. There will be a section for questions at the end, so you can feel free to unmute yourself. Then you can put questions in the chat. I won't look at them while I'm doing the presentation, just because that I find very confusing. And then I'm trying to focus on the question and what I was going to say, and I can't actually do both of those things at the same time. But if you want to put them in the chat, I will read them when I am done with my set presentation. So here goes nothing. Here's how to turn your content into a client generating machine. Obviously, it requires content. I came up with this just because I have had so much success with my own content. I have tried to not be the cobbler without shoes. I don't always do everything I tell people to do, but I do consistently create content that provides value and has that call to action. And I'm very aware of my funnel and where people are going, after a presentation like this or at a networking event or someone I want to follow up with. What does that follow up look like? So I have absolutely had people reach out to me after, I gave a presentation like this and they attended my webinar, or I spoke at a networking event and they hopped on my my newsletter list. And then like 6 months later, oh, I'm ready to work with you. I need your services. How do we make this happen? And it does tend to go straight to how do we make this happen? I even had one person that I was talking to that I had to be like, hold up, hold up. Do you want to know how much it cost? I don't think I had ever had that before where I had to be like, I had to be the one to say, let's talk pricing, because she just wanted to get straight to it and hire me and let's get to it. So that is because of the value that I provide in the content that I put out in my newsletter, on my blog, on social media, all of the places. So I am going to teach you guys what that process is like. First and foremost, let's talk about what that means as far as how to create content that gets people's attention. There's always got to be value in the content that you're sending people. It has to have value in and of itself. It can't just be, this webinar is a perfect example. I hate those webinars that you attend and they give you 5 minutes of value and then the rest is a sales pitch. It drives me nuts, and I'm sure it drives you guys nuts too, right? No one likes that. That's not actually providing value. So there is a time and a place for your sales content that is generally on the sales page, or when someone says, I want to hire you, I'm interested in your services. Great time for that conversation. In your marketing content is not a great time for that conversation. So yes, you can have your pitch at the end, but the majority of it needs to be super valuable. Here's what you need to know. Here's why. And always, always focus on that. Here's the why. Here's why it matters. Here's why you should care. This is how it will affect your life. And then here's what you can do about it. My business is such that I feel free giving away all of my information so that you can go ahead and do everything that I do and you don't need to hire me. And the reason I do that is because people hire me to do that stuff for them. My goal is always to have people uh, consume all that information and go, that's great. I'm so happy Allison does all this. I do not want to do all of that. I have my own business to run. I just want to hire Allison to do it for me. I also work with a lot of coaches, for example, where they are selling their knowledge. So they don't want to give away all of the secret sauce. That totally makes sense for them. If you are in that position, then you need to know where that line is for you. How much are you willing to get? Because you've got to give away some for free. How much are you willing to give away for free? And what is behind that paywall? I have a client who's a coach who says her goal with the free content she provides is to help people make enough money that they can then afford to hire her so they can then get to the next level. So know what that line is for you, but your content always, always needs to provide value, show them how to do something, show them why it's important to do something, and always have a demonstration of what that looks like once they've done it. How is their life going to be better? How are they going to solve a problem? What do they not have to worry about anymore because they've done this? Now, that requires a funnel. Because again, my business, and I'm sure for most of you here watching the recording at home, there's you're very, very rarely going to get someone who goes to your blog post and reads one blog post and is ready to buy. It's much more, especially with the blogs, it's much more informational. It's much more, all right, I heard I need such and such, so let's find out about this. And they do a quick Google search. These days it's a chat GPT search, and then they find their way to your blog. Or someone recommended you. Maybe they're, again, getting their feet wet, trying to test out the waters here. They're going to go to your blog to do that. And they're not going to read just one blog post. In the B2B space, I think the average is 5 to 7 pieces of content before they make a buying decision. And they're going to go to your blog to do that. So I always, always recommend starting with the blog. So, as far as your funnel goes, it always starts with awareness, right? That's the first stage of the buyer journey is people have to be aware of the problem and they have to be aware of you. So how are they going to become aware of you? Social media is a big one. SEO is another one. Again, that's when they're starting to become aware that there's a problem. So they go to search engine of choice and type in, what do I need to know about such and such? Or how can I solve this problem for myself? Or is this something I really need to hire a lawyer for or get an IT professional for? Or is this something I can do myself? So, and again, that blogging is key for SEO because that's where the search engines gather all of that content that they then use to provide an answer for the people who are asking those questions in the search engine. So, yes, blogging is still important. You still need that content on there to position you as an expert. Get out there as far as social media marketing, guest content. You can write guest blog posts on other people's blog posts, other people's websites, partner up with someone, ideally not a competitor. It could be someone who does what you do, but maybe they do it for a different audience, or they do it in a different way, or they don't provide quite the same services you do. I like partnering with people who are power partners. Other people in marketing who don't do the writing side of marketing, they do different. Or maybe they do social media because I don't do social media. Maybe they do social media. So it's good for us to partner up and I can write stuff for their blog posts and they can write stuff for my blog posts. Now I have free content on my blog. That is great because when you when you write content for someone else's platform, you automatically get that into that audience because their audience already knows, likes, and trusts them. And they are saying, this person is cool. You should hear what they have to say. So you automatically get some of that know, like, and trust juice. You do still have to prove yourself. They're not as trusting of you as they are of this person they've been following, but there is a bit of built-in trust there because the person they trust is saying, hey, this person is cool, you should check out what they have to say. So guest blog posts, guest newsletters, guesting on podcasts, speaking engagements, all great opportunities to get in front of a whole new audience. And then you can share that content like crazy, again, on your social media, in your newsletter. Earned media is another great way to get people to hear about you, to become familiar with your brand. Earned media is when other media publications are writing about you without you paying for it, without you. I mean, there can be some outreach. This is where public relations PR comes in. Maybe they reach out to a local news organization, a local newspaper, a local whatever, and say, hey, we have this story about this company that's doing really great things. You should probably write about it. So having that, again, that awareness of people, they're not looking for you. They're not looking for information on what you do. They're just watching the news, reading the newspaper, reading the magazine, whatever it might be, and they come across your name. And it just so happens that you're doing something really cool. And if they really like it, they're going to go to your website to look for more. So that can be a great way to supplement your SEO efforts. Books, write your own book. There is nothing better than saying you literally wrote the book on the subject, and then you can sell that book on Amazon, which is its own search engine. Plenty of people looking to solve a problem. If they want to get straight to the point of buying a book to help them solve that problem, a lot of people go straight to Amazon for that. So take advantage of that. And then, of course, advertising. You can pay on social media to show up in front of certain audiences. You can pay on Google to show up in certain searches. That is a great way to get in front of people who did not previously know you existed. So that is how you can get people aware of you. Next up, consideration. This is where you dive deeper to help potential customers understand the complexity of what you do. This is what's going to lead them to realize, you know what, I think I just want to hire someone to do this rather than trying to do it myself. This is where you get into the detailed blogs and videos, right? This is why I always recommend that at least not all of your blog posts have to be thousands of words. But there is certainly a case to be made for the occasional blog post being 2 to 3 thousand words long. Yes, they can be shorter. Ideally, you should mix it up. You should have some really long ones and some shorter ones and some middle of the road ones. Same with videos. Again, some people are going to stick around and watch a really long video if you really dive deep into a topic. You should always supplement that with the shorts because, again, people love the short stuff. You clip some of what you're doing and you put that up as a short on YouTube or you put that up on TikTok. It's a great way to get in front of people and get their attention. And now the people who want to know more are going to click through and watch the longer video or read the longer blog post. Newsletters. Always, always, always get your newsletter. Always, always, always send it out through something like MailChimp or Constant Contact. If you're sending out a ton of emails from your one individual email address, you're going to end up in spam. I can't remember what the limit is. If it's like 50 or 100 emails per day that you send out, it's going to be like, yeah, this seems a little spammy. So you can automatically get sent to the spam folder for that. So don't do that. Use something like MailChimp or Constant Contact. Newsletters are a great way to stay top of mind with people who are in this consideration stage. They're considering buying. They're not really sure they want to hire anyone yet, much less hire you, but they're interested. They've expressed some interest. Get them onto your newsletter. That is a great way to continually send, not constantly, but regularly send them information. So again, you're staying top of mind, and again, you're providing value, you're educating them. I had someone who was, again, I spoke at an event and she signed up for my newsletter. And like 6 months later, I heard from her and she was ready to hire. And on the sales call, she upsold herself. She was like, well, I really need this package instead of this package because of such and such, right? And I realized she was quoting something straight from my blog post while she was upselling herself. Because she'd been getting my newsletter and I always share my blog in that newsletter, and she had actually been reading them and it was super valuable for her, and again made the sales call so much easier for me. So take advantage of your newsletter. Again, social media content is not just for getting in front of new people. There is certainly a time and a place for that, but it's also about, again, just keeping those leads warm, the prospects who are aware of you, who like you enough to follow you. Make sure you keep sending them updates. Give them content that shows up in their feed so you can continue getting in front of them. Webinars, also a great way to capture valuable information, capturing leads. Lead magnets, these are your checklists, infographics, short ebooks, how-to guides. This is all in exchange for an email address. So again, you get them on your newsletter and you keep sending them those updates until they're ready to buy. And again, books are also great. I've definitely been on calls where people are like, I'd love to hire you. I just don't have the money right now. And I'm like, well, my book, Content Marketing Made Easy, by the way, available on Amazon. It shows you how to do it yourself. If you can't afford to hire me, you want to spend $10 on a book, that's it. That's going to show you everything that you need to know, and you can take it from there. So that's another way to, again, position yourself as an expert, because there's really no better authority than, look, I literally wrote the book on the subject. Conversion. All right, now we are finally talking about getting that sale, getting that credit card information. You need your sales page for this, right? It's got to be a compelling sales page. You got to have your testimonials on there. Testimonials and reviews, I absolutely recommend having everywhere. Testimonials for sure on your homepage. There's cases for and against that. I do think it looks really good to have those testimonials on your homepage. Definitely on your sales page, because that's when someone is considering buying from you. They're on the sales page, they're reading about your awesome product or service, they're not quite sure yet that they want to buy. Having a testimonial on there that says, yeah, I was in this position and this is what I was dealing with, and then I reached out and they did such and such for me, and it solved my problem, and it was so awesome. So always, always get those testimonials, get those reviews. If you have a Google business profile, which I highly recommend, get those reviews. Every time you have a happy customer, send them a quick email. Hey, so happy working with you. So glad that we were able to help you solve this problem. Would you mind leaving us a quick review on Google, and then give them that link? Make it super easy for them to just click through and leave the review. LinkedIn, there's a place where you can leave reviews and recommendations for people right there on their LinkedIn profile. That's really awesome. Take advantage of that. And then the occasional promotional content, your emails, your blogs, your social media. For the most part, those are there to warm up your leads and educate them and position yourself as an expert and just provide value. But there's nothing wrong with the occasional post that's like, hey, I'm selling this. Hey, do you need someone who's providing this service? Because I provide this service. Let people know what you sell. Let people know how you can help them. I like following the 80-20 rule there, 80% valuable content, 20% sales content. And then we got loyalty and advocacy, right? This is getting people to actually show up, not just buy from you once, but continue buying from you and refer their friends to you. This, again, consistent communication through newsletters and social media. Don't just take the money and say, okay, great, thanks. Awesome working with you. Have a nice life. Absolutely reach out to them again, see how things went, ask for the review. If things didn't go so well, that's an opportunity for you to take that into account and maybe adjust the way you do things. Updates about new offerings, right? Maybe someone bought something from you and now you have a new offering. And it's like, you know what? This might be perfect for you because I know we did such and such for you. Now here's this next thing, right? This could be a good fit for what we're doing for you for these reasons. Feedback requests and review requests, also a great way to, again, capture those leads, warm them up, and absolutely keep those people happy and keep them informed of all the awesome things that you are doing. So, all right, 20 minutes in, perfect timing. That is everything that I have for you today. Thank you so much for attending. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, but those of you who are live with me now, please feel free to go ahead and ask your questions. And those of you who are watching the review or the recording, please feel free to reach out to me. If you have not already, you can check out my website at avwritingservices.com, and you can reach me directly at info@avwritingservices.com.